Hello, Under the Arch Sports. I'm David, and today we're going to be talking a little bit about Blues hockey. But before we do, please remember to hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel and check out our Facebook and Instagram pages. Now, as you know, the Blues hockey season has started, and they've already played their first game of the season. It was at Colorado against the Avalanche on Saturday, October 16th. But before we go into that game a little bit, let's take a look at some of the newcomers to the St. Louis Blues team. If you're looking at our roster right now, we pretty much have the same lineup as we did before, with a few new additions. Jake Neighbors, who is a first-round draft pick for the Blues, has made the team and is one of the wingers this year for the Blues. The Blues picked up Brandon Saad. He's going to be a huge asset for the team, as they tend to want to play that grinding, physical, pounding hockey, and he's that big body the Blues need in front of the net. They also have James Neal as one of the wingers, and he'll be a good addition for the team as well. Other than that, the roster is pretty much the same as it was last year. Based off that, what you can expect from this team is a lot of speed, and hopefully they pick up their physical play more than they did last year. They struggled at times to play in the Blues identity under what Berube was known for, which was the heavy forechecking, cycling the puck along the boards, spending a lot of time in the offensive zone, keeping teams under pressure. And part of that was because they didn't have a big body like Saad on the team to especially sit in front of the net and create havoc and cause screens and other things like that. Based off that and the development of our young guys on defense, I think the Blues are going to have a much better season, both offensively and defensively. They're going to know where they need to be on the ice. They know what they need to do to maintain puck control. They're going to cut down on some of those terrible turnovers we saw last year, in my opinion. And on top of that, I think Bennington is going to have a bounce back year and be lights out again in the net for us. Just to get a glimpse of what the Blues can do this year, they had a good opener against the Colorado Avalanche. And while the Avalanche made a furious comeback at the end of the game, the Blues pretty much had it in control until the last 10 or so minutes of the game when the momentum really started shifting towards the Avalanche's way. They got goals from Falk, Shin. Prawn had two. One was a power play goal, and then Ryan O'Reilly closed out the game with a empty netter. Blues led going into the third period 4-1. Bennington was making amazing saves right and left. Couple keys for this team is everybody looked healthy, ready to go. Everybody looked in shape. Even Tarasenko, who had that off-season drama of wanting to be traded, looked like he was in really good shape and ready to go. And depending on how he does, he might be with the team all year, maybe not if somebody decides to trade for him. I don't even know if he still wants to be traded. He could change his mind as the season goes on and the team plays well. We'll have to wait and see on what's going on with there. I know Doug Armstrong couldn't find a deal worth letting him go for. And so far, it seems like his attitude has been all strictly business. Go do what I need to do to win hockey games. So for the Blues, that's a good thing. For him, it's probably a good thing, especially if he still wants to be traded. Well, that's going to be a wait and see. As for the season, a couple of keys on the season, I think, again, this year is the Blues had to get back to their forechecking game. They went away from it at times last year, and that's when they got themselves in trouble. The other thing they have to do is their defenders have to be able to cut down on the awful turnovers. I don't know how many times last year I saw the Blues just turning the puck over and having like 2-on-1 breakaways where Bennington had no chance. They can't do that this year, especially if they want to make a playoff run. The other thing I would say is your big guys need to be taking shots, and you need to have a guy like Brandon Saad in front of the net. One of the other things I'd love to see is I'd love to see Robert Thomas take more shots. I think he is a great offensive shot. If he can do that with Brandon Saad in front of the net and others in front of the net doing the dirty work, I think the Blues are going to be very successful. If the defense continues to step up while eliminating bad turnovers, they're going to be a force to reckon with. In the first game against the Avalanche, Justin Falk had a nice slap shot that made it over the back of their goalie for the first goal of the season, and it was if they continue to do things like that, I think they'll be very successful this season. The other key I would have to say is we have to get more out of Ville Husso. So when Jordan Binnington is struggling or just needs a break in net, Ville Husso needs to really step up as our backup goalie. When the Blues have been really good, they had a really good second backup goalie like Jake Allen when he was backing up. When you have a two goalie tandem, where if one guy's struggling, you have the confidence to throw the other guy in there. That's when teams really take off and make a run, especially in the playoffs. I know the season's just getting underway. We'll have plenty of more to talk about as the season gets under. But the other thing I want to point out is we're back to our normal conferences. Again, last year, if you remember, we played all the West teams. So we'll get to see our normal games against Chicago, Nashville, Winnipeg, Dallas, Colorado, Minnesota. And I'd say the two teams we have to beat are going to be Minnesota and Colorado. They're going to be the two toughest, in my opinion, at the moment. I know Dallas will probably weigh in there too. But those two, I think, are going to be the two teams that are going to be the toughest to beat and the ones you want to really play your best game against. Arizona, if I remember right, last year made a push for the playoffs, so they're going to be tough too. But I think if the Blues play their hockey the way they want to play, fast, heavy hitting, line after line, wave after wave of people coming at you, I think they'll put a great season together, and I think they have a shot at making a decent playoff run. Do I think they're a Stanley Cup team? I'm not sure yet. I want to see them play. I want to see how healthy they are. There were a lot of injuries last year, so if the Blues can maintain their health throughout the season, they might be one of the more fresh teams out there just because of how many injuries there were last year and how many players were sitting out. So I know the whole team is ready to go. They have fresh legs, and I'm looking forward to the season. Stay tuned to Under the Arch. We'll have more on the Blues, and thank you for watching.